Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Miller. My family and I live in Sacramento, California. We just moved here from Texas to replant a vineyard church here in Sacramento. The church is under 40 people in attendance, and pastor called us up to help him replant the church, to take over at some point here in the very near future, to replant the church and kind of get it back up to going where it's supposed to be, back up to speed. So we're really excited about that, seeing what God's going to do with that. It's been a challenge for my family, moving cross country again, and getting involved in a new church in a new way. Pastoral leadership has been interesting for my family. It's been interesting for my girls, going to a new school and learning a new routine and all that stuff, but it's been good. It's been good, so I'm excited about this change in our life. We lived in Dallas for the past 4 years, and I taught first grade for the past 3 years, and that was a lot of fun. I miss my babies. They were so sweet. I had so much fun teaching my babies. But I teach fourth grade now, and that's been a good change for me. It's been a good challenge, learning how to teach fourth graders versus first graders. First graders, I got to, I could say random little things and it would run over their head and they wouldn't really understand what I was saying. But fourth graders listen, especially these guys, and they listen and they go home and they tell their parents everything I say, and they bust me on things all the time. Never anything bad, just random little things, like a math problem. The answer is a sum instead of a subtraction problem. The answer is difference, and one of my fourth graders corrected me on that and said that Miss Miller, it's the difference, not the sum. So little things like that I get busted on all the time with these fourth graders, so it'll be fun. Yeah, it's an interesting change. This course, I am kind of intrigued where Dr. Worth is going to take it. When I looked at it online, I was actually kind of bored by it. I was like, okay, teaching the fundamentals of math, well, yeah, that'll be important. We should learn how to do that effectively. But the chapter that I read, it really went a totally different direction. I know fixed mindset versus growth mindset. I know that. Well, if you had said fixed mindset versus growth mindset, I've heard that before, and I could have even, said to you, oh, that's a brain that understands growing and is ready to grow and something like that. But the concept that they took it was really interesting to me, and actually, ironically enough, incredibly supportive and encouraging to my daughter who's dyslexic. The idea of every time that we make a mistake, not that we fix our mistake, but that we just simply make a mistake, our brain creates a new synapses, and it starts firing neurons and electrons just by the act of creating a new synapses, or however you say that word, is incredibly encouraging to my own family. I have 2 daughters that are struggling learners, and my older one in particular, she really gets down on herself that she's such a struggling learner. And so her listening to me last night, telling her about that, I kind of walked her through that chapter, a couple things, and just highlighted a couple things for her and talked to her about the fact that just that she made a mistake, not that she made a mistake and fixed her mistake, but just that she made a mistake, was incredibly encouraging to her. And she smiled and she said, is that why my brain feels so much bigger right now? And I had to laugh, and I had to say, well, yeah, I guess kind of. And she just felt really encouraged by that. I was thinking about my class. I have a class full of high achievers. This particular class, they're really, really good in math. And they're fourth graders, so they're getting to that point in life where are you smarter than a fifth grader. And so they're they're sweet bunch of kids. They're really, really sweet. Academic, behavioral-wise, I have no problem with them. And I don't even really have much problem with them academically, except for the fact that they're almost too smart for their own good. I tell them something, and they just innately get it. So I'm used to working with struggling learners that you tell them something and they don't get it. So I'm used to, my whole teaching thus far has been centered around helping them understand the concept. And I've got all these manipulatives and all these charts and all these things that I do to help them understand the concept. I've never really taught a bunch of kids that just innately get it. So it was interesting to me, the idea of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset in the classroom. So I'm going to be really intrigued to see where the class takes that. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a really interesting course. One thing, oh, I know where I was going with that whole train of thought. One thing that I was thinking about my class, because I have a high class of primarily high achievers, most of them get it, like I said, but I've got a couple of them that they're just low. I've got about 5 of them that just trail the bottom of the barrel. So I've got a huge wide gap between the two. And they feel really bad about themselves about that. They really feel bad. So I was thinking about just doing a real brief introduction on that concept about a fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. And just the book made this one suggestion where the teacher takes a piece of paper and tells them, okay, take your piece of paper and crumple it up. And get all of your pent-up frustration and all of your pent-up anger about whatever subject it is that you struggle in, math or whatever it is, and throw it at the whiteboard. And then pick up your piece of paper and color in all of those wrinkles. Smooth out your paper and color in all those wrinkles that you see. And that is a daily reminder all year long of the growth that you've made every time you make a mistake. Not every time you make a mistake and correct your mistake, but every time you just simply made a mistake. That's a reminder of all the growth that you are going to make all year long. And so just talking to them about the fact that yes, you're a bunch of high achievers, and that's awesome, but make sure that you grow too, and not be so concerned about going home with 100%. More closer on the home front, they made another joke about the fact that if your child comes home and they didn't do the math assignment right, and they've made all these mistakes and they're struggling so much with this math assignment, and heaven forbid they might have to redo it all over again, have the mindset and have the verbiage of, oh hey, good job, look at all those synapses you grew in your brain, and kind of turn it into a little bit of a positive joke. So I think I'm going to start doing that with especially my older one. So yeah, I'm excited to see where Dr. Worth is going to take this class. Last time I took a class with her, it was a real challenging class, but it was a good thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens to it. Anyway, have a wonderful Labor Day, everybody. Bye.